Hey there, welcome back. We're going to learn about some HTML tables. This is going to be a quick lecture because tables are actually quite easy, and I'm going to give you a little heads up about tables. Back in the 90s, people used tables exclusively in HTML for creating layouts because, as you would assume, say if you're opening up your Microsoft Excel spreadsheet or your numbers spreadsheet, you can use a table and you can merge cells and you can almost create a layout. It's almost like a grid. You'd think like, hey, how convenient we can create layouts with tables because of the grid-like structure. However, that fell out pretty hard out of practice because it's a terrible practice. That means you're making HTML create layouts rather than create content and meaning of your web page. CSS is meant for the visual presentation, and using tables as a layout was making HTML do that job and rendering CSS kind of either useless or just making it confusing. And you're supposed to separate them. It's better practice. And also, it just looks ugly. It just looks old school. That's why you get those old 90s websites that don't look that good. So anyway, tables are meant for tabular data only, meaning whatever information you'd put in a table normally is how you'd use tables in HTML. Do not use them for layouts. Okay, with that being said, let's go ahead and create a new file and call it tables.html. Open that up and let's add our basic structure in there. And obviously we're going to change that title to tables. And in here in the body tag, let's go ahead and create a very basic table. We're going to create a table with 3 columns across and 3 rows down. I believe that is the correct terminology. We're going to have just a quick little table with some information about people, their name, their first name, their age, and the city they are from. So let's go ahead and do that. The first thing you need to do is create a table tag, and this is what a table tag looks like. Within the table tag, you're going to want to add a TR tag. TR stands for table row. So for every row, you need to add a TR tag. Within the TR tag, we want to first have a table heading. We want to have a heading where the top, how in any normal table, you'd have something like name, age, city, or something like that. You'd need to have table headings. And so the most semantic way of doing that is the TH tag. And so we're going to add 3 of those. And there we go. And let's go ahead and say name. We'll say age. And we'll say city. There we go. You can see it showing up in the browser there already. Table row, another table row. Within this table row, we're going to go ahead and add a TD tag, which stands for table data. And the table data tag, it needs to match the number of columns across, of cells that you've already established. So we have 3. So it means 3 table headings. We need to have 3 table data tags in order to match. So we're going to have 3 there. And so let's start off with John. The second one is going to relate to the second of the table heading here. Let's say his age is 39. And let's say his city is Vancouver. Okay, let's go ahead and just copy that table row with the table data in it and paste it below John. And let's change this to Sandra. She is 18 years old and from Chicago. And we're going to paste that again one more time and change John to Mildred, who is 78 and from, London. Let's say that. There we go. Now, there is our basic table. You can see over here in the browser window, we have name, age, city, and we have tabular data. Now, if you wanted to make the width of the table the full width of the browser window, you could add an attribute here called style and then width 100%. The problem with this, though, is this is CSS inline. So we're using it right in the HTML. And as I've already kind of mentioned a couple of times, you want to keep the presentation of your document outside of your HTML. You want to reserve that for your CSS. So naturally, you would do this in CSS, and we'll get there if you don't know how that is done. But this is just a really quick way to do it. But I'm going to remove it because it is technically bad practice. So for now, we're going to leave our table nice and vanilla. It's nice and easy. If you did want to play around with it and add some more table headings, you could go ahead and add another table heading here and say something like gender. And then you'd obviously have to add another table data tag, and you'd say male, female, so on and so forth. And you could do that as long as the cells all match up so you have the right number of columns and rows. All right, that's it for tables. See you in the next lecture.